All right, good morning, everybody. We started recording the meeting. Can I please ask you to put yourself on mute? Can you guys hear me okay? All right, are you all on mute? Because I hear some background. Okay, great stuff. Good morning again. Thank you so much for joining us. We're recording the meeting for the 5 o'clock session today as well. So we've got a couple of things that we want to just throw out there today. I want to start by reading an article to you that was published by the Franchise Association of South Africa last week about the future of franchising in 2021. And then I would like to speak a little bit more about the new business model that we are talking about, that we are creating together, and then put it out to you guys. So it's going to be an open discussion after this. All right, so I'm just going to put my video off while I read this article for you. All right, before I go there, I don't know if you guys watched Carte Blanche on Sunday night. So there was an insert about the tourism industry and specifically about the hotel industry. And they interviewed the CEO of Tsogo Sun, and Tsogo Sun is the company that owns Monte Casino and Sun City and so on. And this guy says within a week they had to close 103 hotels nationwide. And how that set them back. They were not prepared for that. They never in their strategies or their planning or their boardroom meetings ever thought that they had to close down 103 hotels in a week. So long story short, he said, now that the tourism industry is getting back onto its feet and the hotels are slowly opening again, they must start from zero. They must start from zero. They've got empty rooms. They've got to think about a different strategy in how they are going to be filling up those rooms. So, and I could resonate with that with Monkey Gymnastics, because he said the only thing they have now after the lockdown is 30 years experience in the tourism industry and in the hotel industry. That is all they've got to work with. So they've got to start from scratch. So we are not alone in this way of thinking and redoing our model and rethinking. And we also had to start from scratch. We had to start with 0 kids after the lockdown in August, September, when schools reopened. And now we're going back to 0 again in 2021. So we are not alone. But what we've got is 25 years worth of experience with more than 1 million children that's been in our program. So let's focus on the experience that we've got and how we're going to start from scratch to build this new model. All right, so I'm reading that article for you. The future of franchising in 2021. The franchise sector at the end of 2019 was holding its own in what was a trying economic environment. According to FASA's 29 survey, sponsored by Sanlam, the franchise sector contributed an estimated turnover of 734 billion rand, equivalent to almost 15% of the country's gross domestic product, through its over 800 franchise systems, with close to 48,000 franchise outlets, of which you are one of those 48,000, and a workforce close to 500,000 employees. The entire world seems to have been turned on its axis since then, as many industries are now forced into unfamiliar territory and left to either fight or flight in this seemingly post-apocalyptic era. What the pandemic of 2020 did was fast-track the upcoming fourth industrial revolution and catapult us in making changes far sooner than expected, and change the way we live and do business. And one of those things, the fourth industrial revolution, is information technology and artificial intelligence. And all of a sudden we bumped onto Zoom meetings and we're having it once a week, which we never had before. So the fourth industrial revolution, and the pandemic just fast-tracked us into that revolution. During a unique time such as this, entrepreneurs and employees alike are considering the next business plans and how to best be successful in the future. Fortunately for those who are ready to take the next step, history demonstrates a positive outlook, as entrepreneurs are often born after a recession or a major historical event like this. Whilst the picture for 2021 and beyond will prove to be vastly different, one of franchising's biggest attributes is its ability to adapt and innovate. As the world struggles to recover economically, businesses worldwide will be hard-pressed to review, regroup, and recover. Franchises in particular, by virtue of their strength in numbers and their solid support mechanisms, are showing signs of recovery, and the sector remains one of the most resilient. The franchise sector is leading the way in its recovery, and globally, we are seeing the determination of both franchisors, us, and franchisees, you, to overcome the challenges and forge ahead with our revival plans. In ending, every cloud has a silver lining, goes the saying. And even in the midst of a pandemic, there are those entrepreneurs that have taken new ideas and forged a new path to business success. As we all adjust to the new normal, consumer behavior is changing. The way businesses are operating and impacting how consumers will interact with brands in the future. All right, so that's quite a bit, and I read through it quite quickly. The article is on FASA's website, but just again, proving to me, guys, and to us, that we are on the right track. We are resilient, we are continuing these conversations, and we are thinking out of the box. We are not stagnating. So I'm super excited that the future of franchising, according to this article, for us to regroup and readjust, we are exactly on the right track. And I'm so pleased that we can do it together as a unified team going forward. All right, so just to recap, we are registering with the Department of Social Development. We need you to please send us those emails to Charlize or Runel about the confirmation that we are at the venue, and a little bit of a reference coming from the school, so we can attach that to our application. I foresee that every franchisee in future will probably have to register individually with the Department of Social Development, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. All right, so just to recap again, 2 questions raised last week and before, what you guys can do for us, and I'm just confirming that, and I want to thank you for the data that we have received. If there's, sorry, that's the Hadidas going over. So the data on our systems, it's imperative. Payments, thank you so much, guys, for keeping our cash flow consistent, and thank you for the payments. If there are any money outstanding on your accounts, please go and sell something or take a home loan or go and get it from your grandmother. But please, as far as possible, settle those accounts, because we need that for our registration forms and our planning for 2021. All right, then the second question was, what can we do for you? And we posed that already 2 weeks ago, I think in our first meeting on the 1st of December. What can we do for you? And thank you so much for many franchisees that came back with great suggestions around what we can do for you. So I want to open the floor now for you to answer. What can we do for you? What have you thought about? Some things you want to throw out there for points of discussion. What can we do for you as we keep on consistent with these Zoom meetings going forward, and as we build our strategy for 2021? What is the most important thing that you guys need from us right now? All right, anybody? No one?
I'd like a conference.
A conference? We've got a conference booked. I think, I don't know the exact date, but it was out on the calendar.
Is it on the calendar? Oh, sorry, I missed that.
No, it's on the calendar.
I think it'll be awesome just to all get together in person. So Yeah,
We've got a conference scheduled for the 13th.
13th.
Yeah.
Oh, the 13th of January.
I think that's a Wednesday.
It is a Wednesday.
Yeah, and that Monday and Tuesday, we have our empowerment workshop that we're going to go through the financial planning, the social media marketing, the communication, the information, all of that. So that's going to be 9 to 12 on those days, on the Monday and Tuesday, and the conference will then be on the Wednesday.
Okay,
So,
cool. Thanks, guys.
Send Runella email immediately or a WhatsApp if you want to book for the conference. I've been thinking about that, and we also have franchisees that's going to be traveling from all over the country that's asked about that. So the conference will definitely be going ahead on that Wednesday, and it will be wonderful.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I didn't read the calendar.
No problem, Hayley. And the conference is also going to be broadcast on Zoom, the different sessions. And also the empowerment workshops on that Monday and Tuesday will also be broadcast on Zoom.
Thank you.
You are welcome. All right, apart from a conference, what else can we do for you?
I've got one thing to raise. It's still about the marketing. So I did add your name in a Facebook post of Mamma Mia. So I actually met this lady, and she started her own little business. It's very similar to Baby Nastics, and they do little crash courses and things, and it's now become an app. So she started 3 years ago with a little girl, and the girl is now 3.5. And it boomed. It's all over my Facebook, and past Cornwall School, I saw there's a huge board up how to add this app and whatever. So I'm not sure about the costing and things of all this bulk, massive marketing. But maybe instead of all of us trying to figure it out by ourselves, maybe we must try to budget together or add a little from our side and get Facebook running. Obviously, you can run your own posts, but just to run it like more bigger and bulker. I don't know, like our children's is in your face all over, all the time. And I feel like Baby Nastics and Monkey Nastics is not so in your face. And I feel we should be more in people's faces.
Okay, I hear you. Thank you for that input. I wonder if we can go to Kerry. Let's see how Kerry's audio is.
Yeah, sorry, my internet's not really stable. But we'll definitely have something put in place. Yeah, we had a bit of a strat in place, and COVID obviously has messed things up a little. So yeah, we'll definitely have something in place shortly.
All right, wonderful. Any ideas that you guys have around that? You know, if you go into social media marketing, you must be sure about what exactly is your intention. So our intention so far with some marketing that we've done was specifically with franchise sales. We focused around the franchise sales, but we haven't really formulated the strategy to advertise our brands as such. So that's definitely on the list. Thank you, Lene.
Yeah, and also we're obviously looking at different avenues. Facebook, I don't feel, is the only platform that we need to utilize. Yeah, so we'll just share all of that.
Yes, and even maybe Instagram. I don't know. I'm not good with it yet, but it's a big platform lately.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Instagram is definitely for the younger me's, and Baby Nastics definitely for that category for me. Yeah, all the brands do, but Baby Nastics specifically.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, so we have an Instagram account for Monkey Nastics International, but I think it's inactive at the moment. I've made a note, so we can just thinking of reviving our Instagram page as well for Monkey Nastics International.
The only other one that I see very often is also an app. It's called Baby Spark. So I don't know, maybe Terry, if you would like to just, I don't know, look what they do and see. I'm not very clever with this marketing thing, but I see the Baby Sparks marketing is all over as well. It's very good.
Yeah.
So if we can move in that direction, I think we'll do it.
Hello everybody, just my few cents worth on Baby Sparks. Baby Sparks, I've subscribed to Sparks a couple of months ago to actually follow exactly how they are operating their business, and their business strategy is 100% online content and milestone tracking. So it's very much in line with our cybernetics program. They are just limited from 0 to 24 months is where they stop, and we continue from there on. So that's the Baby Sparks product. But I've also investigated the way they actually market it, and it's very interesting, and I will definitely, so I'm on top of the Baby Sparks, and I will share that with Kiri, exactly what I picked up on that. So thanks, Renee.
Yay! Thank you, Rassan.
Brilliant. So guys, we haven't concentrated so much on our cybernetics platform yet because of various factors, but it's still there and it's still alive and well. And we are still talking about converting that also into an app. So it's not dead, it's still going, and that's part of also the planning for 2021. All right, so the opportunity for you, what else can we do for you at this point and going forward into 2021? Anything that you can think of. Daniel Lynette, maybe?
I also agree with the marketing. I think that's very important. And just on that, I don't know if you've seen that our website at the moment is not accessible. I tried to go on from my side onto the website, and it says that there's something that I need to add. When I asked whether I should, it's not. So I believe it's been like that for a while. I don't know if you know about that. I don't know if it's just my computer, but when I asked around, it said that it shows like that on other computers as well. Do you know about that?
I was on the website last week, Thursday, on both websites, .international as well as Monkeynastics online. So I'll just follow that up, but it can't be a very old problem. It must be quite. I'll go have a look. Thank you, Tannie Lynette. If anyone of you ever picks up on anything like that, please immediately inform us via WhatsApp.
All right. Thank you, Tannie Lynette. I've reported that to the web to the host now.
Please, because we have schools that want to use.
Sorry, I can't hear you, Tannie Lynette.
Online registrations, and I refer already. So, and you also mentioned that we're going to copy specifically only the forms.
Yes.
So we need to get that sorted if it's possible, please. I haven't looked recently. Well, I looked last week. I couldn't get on. I haven't looked today or yesterday.
I know it was off. I've contacted Carl now, so that should be back on shortly.
All right, thank you. I'll have a look. Okay.
You're welcome.
And then I also agree with the marketing, as I say, and we've just got to try and be on top of things. That's all I can say.
Awesome. All right, guys, one of the things that I want to get to later is the online registration through monkeynastics.international and the e-commerce platforms with Pay Fast. So that's part of our new model and our new strategy, but we'll talk more in depth about that a little bit later, now that Tannie Lynette brought up the online registrations. All right, just anything else? Let's go. Anybody else? Raise your hand. Or I see Yolandi. Hello, Yolandi. Thanks for joining us. I see you popping up in front of me as well. Anything from you guys that we can do for you right now and in the months of January heading up into 2021?
Hallo Dirk. Ek het net so 'n paar vrae. Die een is ons gewoonlik mos al die vormpies uitgegee en dan het die ouers dit ingaan vul en 'n dag voor die tyd dan gaan ons na die skool toe, dan tel ons alles op en dan begin ons klasregister opmaak en so aan. Hoe werk dit as die ouers online dit gaan doen? Gaan hulle dan 'n klas select? Hoe werk daai gedeelte?
Alright, ons gaan nog steeds hardcopy registrasievorms beskikbaar hê, maar jy gaan 'n link kry. wat jy vir die ouers uitstuur, en as die ouers op daai link klik, dan gaan hulle direk in jou franchise in. So hulle hoef nie te select Suid-Afrika, Gauteng, die hele Uppington en whatever nie. As hulle op daai link klik, dan kom hulle absoluut by jou franchise uit, dan select hulle basies net die skool.
Okay. Ek het omtrent om en by 3 nuwe skole gekry vir volgende jaar. So hulle het nou vir my gevra wanneer deel ek die vorms uit en hulle wil graag die link hier om te begin uitstuur om te help met bemarking. Het julle 'n idee wanneer gaan ons daai link kry?
Ek gaan gou na die sou.
Can I give her name? Okay, so I'm offering, I need to create every single franchisee's link individually. So if you are ready for your link and ready for that, you must contact me personally via WhatsApp. Send me your PayFast login information. That is what I need. Okay. So I need that to help you set up your link.
Okay.
So please contact me directly, and I will tell you what I need. But before we can go anywhere, you need to start your PayFast registration. Go to payfast.co.za and register account and verify your account. It's got a verification process that you need to go through. So just start doing that. That's good enough, and then make contact with me. The other thing I want you guys to maybe just do together with that is let's do a little bit of an exchange. Once you guys send through all your references from the school, I will create the link. So let's do a little bit of exchange from your side to our side, and then I can do the link. So the references that we want from you guys, let's get that in place as well, and I will create the link for you. I'm ready to do that.
Okay, dankie Russo.
Okay,
so I can have those links for you about half an hour after you've given me all your information. That's how quick we can do that.
Okay, baie dankie Russo, klink goed.
I'm sorry, Russo, can I ask something? I've already got a link. I've used it last year, this year, I've used it this year a lot. So when I click on that link, it just takes you straight to a registration page, the parents fills it in, and an email comes to me. So am I going to have a different link now?
Send me your link so that I can see where it takes me, please.
Okay, cool.
All right, guys, while we're there...
But listen, it's awesome. It's awesome not to have that paper. It really is. It's great.
Brilliant. So just to, while we're there, so the first thing, you need to do 2 things. The first thing is you need to create yourself a PayFast account at payfast.co.za on the one side. And on the other side, you need to go to your profile at monkeygymnastics.international, your franchise that's been there for your cybernetics and Zoom classes. Remember, some people created classes there. Delete all those classes and just actually capture your schools and your classes there that's going to be active in 2021. So if the parent goes on, if the parent get that link and click on that link, they go to monkeygymnastics.international and they will see what schools and classes you have loaded there. So you don't want there to be Zoom classes and this thing from last year and old information. You only want the active schools that's going to be in 2021 with the classes there. So the parent will click on the link, go to your franchise, select the school, select the class, register. It's directly into that database. And then once you've done the information on .international and you've got your PayFast account, Rousseau will then create the button and create that link that's going to be on international, that's going to go directly to PayFast. So easy peasy. I don't know much about e-commerce, but that's the way I'm learning it. And I want you guys to also understand it as we go forward, because it's unfamiliar territory, but there's no way around it. The next thing we have to connect to that is our Bitcoin accounts with a small little percentage going into my Bitcoin account. So that's my ultimate goal. That's a joke.
Sorry, can I ask another question? I don't want the parent to be able to select a class. They can select a school, but I don't want them to select the class.
All right, so
Is
then
that-
you just load the schools.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Then they will, yeah, I think you have to create a class. So at each school, you can only create then one class for them. Only register in that
You
one.
just you create the class all ages, 2 to 7, and the time not applicable, and you just put in the school, the venue
Okay,
name.
cool. Thanks.
Then it will give it to you like that.
Okay. All right. So guys, I just want to talk through a few things because I see we've got less than 10 minutes left of this meeting. I'll now record this. But then when we drop this meeting, please log back in again so we can continue the open discussion. All right. We've been talking about creating a new business model and sharing a vision going forward. Because if we don't share the same picture and the same vision, as we said last week and the week before, we will go into different directions and we'll see different pictures. So we have to see the same picture. Now with that, we spoke last week about we also have to share the same attitude. Super important that we all know what that attitude is and share that same attitude. We spoke about that last week. And I've done the recording and it's on our channel on YouTube. So if you haven't seen the whole meeting of last week, the link is available. It's also on the groups. So vision and attitude. So I've been thinking a little bit around that. What else would encompass that vision? What other things do we have to share in order to have the same picture at the end of the day? So I came up with a few words. We have to share mutual trust. Guys, if you don't trust me and our executive team, and we don't trust you, there's no ways we can share the same vision and have the same attitude. So trust is the most important thing in any relationship, personal relationship, and specifically now in our business relationship. So part of that vision must be also that you must trust us in our decisions and we must trust you in your execution. Something that goes with trust is respect. You know, if you don't respect somebody, it's very tough to have a professional relationship or have a trusting relationship even with them. Because I believe that respect goes with trust. You've got to respect us in what we do. We are also human. And we've got to have that mutual respect for you as our franchisees. You're also just human. We're operating under a new business model that we are creating. So be aware that respect is very important for us to give it and receive it. And that goes with trust. So the words, if we share the same picture and the same attitude, we must also share the same words. You know, it's if we talk about things in a business Zoom meeting or in private phone calls, we must use the same words when we communicate with our clients and with our schools. If we are talking about, we are going into e-commerce and we are creating an online platform and sustainability, those need to be the words that need to echo down into the schools and down to the kids. The kids need to know about sustainability and about the new model, and they need to buy into it because they are part of it. We need to use the same words. We need to think in the same way. So, you know, you create everything through what you are thinking. So if we can share the way in which we think about our vision, because that is going to be creating our vision, to have shared thinking and share our thinking, because the more we share the way we think, the more powerful our vision is going to be at the end, because we create the stuff through thinking, and then it only becomes a picture. And then, of course, last but not least, the way we feel. And the way you feel starts in your mind. What you think, you start feeling. And we can, with our positive attitude that we want to promote, and with the thoughts that we want to share, we must feel the same way about what we want to do and the reason why we are doing it. All right, so just to recap, our vision, our attitude, mutual trust, mutual respect, super important. We must use the same words. We must try to do the same thinking around what we do. We must share that thinking. And we must also feel the same about what we do and about each other in this company. and about the reason why we are actually doing it. All right, so I'm so excited and passionate about this new business model and about the new vision that we are creating and doing it with you guys and with your input. So with that, we can only begin. Now, all of that said, I'll just mention to you now, and we can go into the second session talking about it in more detail. I'm asking myself, what is this new model that we want to create all about? Why do we want to create a new model? First of all, because our old model is not sustainable anymore. And we've done the sums and we can see it's not sustainable. So we want to create now a new sustainable model. But what is that? What does it mean? So for me, it means that we must think about ways of increasing our revenue, number one. How are we going to be making more money on the one side? And on the other side, how are we going to reduce our expenses? So we need to make more money and we want to reduce our expenses because that is going to give us a win and a win. We don't only want to make more money and have more expenses, or the other way around. We want to do both. We want to increase our income and we want to reduce our expenses. So how are we going to do it? What does it mean for us at Monkey Gymnastics head office and at franchisee level for you? What does that new model mean for you? What can we do to increase our income and reduce our expenses? So I've got a few things jotted down here, and we can talk more about that in detail in the second session. Our biggest single expense on franchisee level are our instructors. They're costing us the most money. I think the second biggest expense on franchisee level is probably petrol, driving around from school to school. So those are already two huge things, instructors and petrol. For us at Monkey Gymnastics head office, our biggest huge expense is handouts. So what is the new model going to look for us with regards to handouts to increase the revenue and bring down the costs? And the fourth thing I've got on this list is how are we going to think about sustainability and the e-commerce platform specifically with online registrations and online payments? So put those 5 things together. There's a lot of conversation that can happen around that in terms of what we can do in this new model to make it sustainable with more income and lower expenses. And I want to open the floor to you after, when we log back in, to specifically talk about instructors. What are we going to do about instructors in future? How are we going to employ instructors? Are we going to employ instructors? Specifically, continue the conversation again about around handouts and t-shirts, and then e-commerce. All right, so there's less than a minute left of this meeting. I'm going to stop the recording now, and we log back on, and then we'll continue open discussion on around those 5 things and anything else that you guys can come up with around increasing our income and getting our expenses as low as possible. All right. So I want you to think about it for the next few seconds while we're logging out of this meeting. And when we come back, anything that you can think of. You know, it's in many cases, ideas coming from you guys that's driving a lot of things and a lot of the strategy at Monkey Gymnastics head office. All right, so I'm stopping the recording.